I'm Jen, and today we're learning about prepositions. I'm going to share with you one of my favorite books. This book is called Under, Over, By the Clover. And it's by, so the author, the person who wrote it, is Brian P. Cleary. And the illustrator, which means the person who drew the pictures, is Brian Gable. So this book is called Under, Over, By the Clover. What is a preposition? First, let's define what a preposition is. A preposition is a word that's usually a very common word that tells the location or the time or introduces an object, which could be a noun phrase, or a pronoun. So some of the most common prepositions are at, on, from, in, to, with. All right, so those are some common prepositions, but there are many, many, many prepositions. So let's take a look at this book and let's see if we can find more prepositions in this book. All right, so let's open the book. Here's the title page. Under, over, by the clover. What is a preposition? Okay. Preposition, a word that connects a noun or pronoun to other words in a sentence. So that's what a preposition is. Let's turn the page. Prepositions show us where, like in your bed. So here, in is a preposition that shows where, shows the location or the place. Beside the chair. He's beside the chair. Similar to next to. Let's turn the page. Under, over, by the clover. And here's clover. Clover is a plant that grows very commonly in the grass. About, above, next to, rover. Rover is a common dog's name. So the prepositions here are under, over, by, about, above, next to. Turn the page. They tell us time and also place, like past 9:30, in your face. Here's a preposition, past, and in is also a preposition. Let's turn the page. During recess, after school. In between the pond and pool. So during and after are prepositions of time. They tell us when. And in between the pond and pool tells us where, in between. So in the middle, between two things. Let's turn the page. Ever since the olden days, there's been a silly myth that prepositions aren't correct to end a sentence with. Okay, so olden days. Olden means a long time ago. So a long time ago, there was a saying, there was something people used to say about prepositions. They said, don't put the preposition at the end of the sentence. Why not? They just thought it wasn't good. But many of our sentences and question sentences have prepositions at the end, like this. Who are you going with? Who are you going with? Are you going with me? To class? Online? Yes, right? So who are you going with? With is the preposition in this question. And with is at the end. That's okay. Who are you going with? Let's turn the page. But write your sentences carefully and you'll discover that ending with a preposition is often where it's at. So the preposition might be at the end, and that's okay. Let's turn the page. Prepositions give direction. Like doctors rushed to Rhonda's wrecked shin. To is the preposition here. And shin is a part of your leg. Okay, shin. So doctors rushed to Rhonda's wrecked shin. So the shin belongs to Rhonda. Right? Here's Rhonda and here's her wrecked shin. So that's why it has an apostrophe S here. You might notice that. Belongs to Rhonda. All right, turn the page. Or Charlie danced the Charleston over on the green. So here he is dancing, and you see over on the green, right? This shows where, it shows the place. Down beyond, around the bend, along the old ravine. So all of these are prepositions. Down, beyond, around, along. They all show where. Okay, so down, down. Beyond, very far away, beyond. Okay, around or along. So going all the way around, we could say around, or we could just say along the line. Okay, turn the page. Across the way, toward Mississippi, through the yard of Chris the hippie. So which one do you think is Chris here? This one, Chris the hippie. All right, so we have across, toward, through, and of. These show place, so across, right? Like across the street, right? The other apartment building is across the street from your house, could be. Or toward, we're going toward something. It means the direction you are going in, right? Toward. So I could walk toward the store. Okay, I'm going toward it. The opposite would be going away from it. Through the yard. So the yard is here, you go through. Right? Of Chris the hippie. So of shows shows it's connecting with the noun of who. So it's connecting the yard with who the yard belongs to. Right? So that's what the of is doing. All right. Here we go. Turn the page. Prepositions do their job in a way that just amazes. Relating nouns and pronouns to the other words and phrases. The prepositions are connecting the other words in the sentence. So they're connecting the nouns or the pronouns to the other words and phrases. All right, here we go. Turn the page. Like Paul's from Pittsburgh, way up there. So we have from and up as our prepositions. And here, I hid beneath the old oak chair. So beneath means like under, beneath, under. Okay, turn the page. Into, inside, from the zoo. Home by way of Timbuktu. So into, inside, from, and by are all prepositions. They tell us the whens, the wheres, and hows, because that's their special mission, and help to link the other words. That's what's a preposition. All right, so they show us when, prepositions of time, or where, prepositions of place, or how things are related, right? Like from or by or to. All right, let's turn the page. So what's a preposition? Do you know? So I hope that you can tell me what a preposition is after seeing all of these prepositions and hearing the definition of a preposition. Maybe we can use more prepositions in our sentences. Prepositions can help give more information to someone in your sentence. Okay, so let's look closely. Let's look more closely at some of these prepositions and practice them. I have some things, and we're going to specifically focus on prepositions of place, okay, where things are. Okay, so I have a bowl. This is a bowl. I have an orange. Orange. I have a can of beans. Can of beans. And I have a jar of sage. Here is the sage. Okay, so these are the things that I have. We're going to practice some prepositions of place using these things. All right. These are the prepositions of place that we will practice. Behind, under, between, next to, inside, on top of, and in front of. So these are all prepositions of place. These tell us where, or the location of something. Where is it? Okay, so let's try some of these. Let's try some of these using the things that I showed you. Let's start with the orange. Where is the orange? Is it in front of the can of beans? Is it on top of the can of beans? Is it inside the can of beans? Is it next to the can of beans? Is it between the can of beans and something else? Is it under the can of beans? Is it behind the can of beans? Where is the orange? The orange is on top of the can of beans. So here's the orange, here's the can of beans. The orange is on top of. Okay? Also, you could say on. It's on the can of beans. So on top of or on. It's the same. In this case, it's the same thing. Right? So let's take a look at some of these other ones and see if we can move the orange to fit this preposition. Behind. So here's the orange. I'm going to put it behind the can. Can you see the orange? It's behind the can. Okay, so that's behind. How about under? Under. I have to hold it because it's going to roll. Right now, the orange is under the can. Okay, so can, orange, under. Okay, the orange is under the can. So the word that matches the preposition goes first. So we say the orange, then we say the preposition is under. So the orange is under the can. We can't say it the other way. Okay, if we say the can is under the orange, we would have to go this way, right? So now if we want to talk about the can, we can say the can is under the orange. Okay? So the thing that matches the preposition needs to go first, right? So here, we need to say this first. The orange is under the can. All right? So that's under. Let's do this one. Between. For between, we need to have more things. So I'm going to get the bowl, and I'm going to put the bowl here. Now, the orange is between the can and the bowl. So still we say orange first. Okay, the orange is between the can and the bowl. We could say the orange is between the bowl and the can. That's okay too. So you can switch these things as well, but orange has to go first. Okay, the orange is between the bowl and the can, or the orange is between the can and the bowl. Okay? Between. Next to. For next to, I'm going to take this one away. We're just going to use the can. The orange is next to the can. Next to. The orange is next to the can. Okay? That means that it's sitting near it. Okay? It's very close to it. Next to. I am also next to the orange, right here. Right? If you just use two things, just me and the orange. I am next to the orange. If I put this back, we could say the orange is between the can and me. Right? So that would be between. Right? So we did between and next to. Let's move on. Inside. I can't get the orange inside. So I'm going to use a different example for inside. I'm going to take these away, and actually, let's use the bowl and the orange. Now, the orange is inside the bowl. Okay, so here's the bowl, orange, inside. Okay, the orange is inside the bowl. So inside, it has to go into it. Now it's inside. All right. In front of. So I'm going to take it out and put it here. The orange is in front of the bowl. Okay? You see the orange this way? In front of the bowl. The orange is in front of the bowl. What about if I put the orange here? What's that? Is that in front of? No, it's not in front of. We have to go all the way back to this one. Behind. The orange is behind the bowl. Okay? Because remember, you have to say the thing you're talking about first. So the orange is behind the bowl. What about if we want to talk about the bowl? If we want to use the bowl first. Where is the bowl? The bowl is in front of the orange. We can use this one, talking about the bowl. The bowl is in front of the orange. Okay, so let's review these prepositions of place. I'm going to mix them up. Okay, this is mix. Mix, mix, mix. All right, let's do this one. Behind. Do you see something behind? That's right, the orange is behind the bowl. Very good. Between. Is there something between here? Not really, but if I put it this way, the bowl is between the orange and me. Between. It means in the middle. Okay, between is in the middle. Inside, what do I have to do? Inside. The orange is inside the bowl. Next to. The orange is next to the bowl. It could go either way. This way too. This is also next to. Okay, so either this side, next to, or over here, next to. In front of. Where do I have to move the orange? Over here. The orange is in front of the bowl. Very good. Under. How can I do that? The orange is under the bowl. Good. Under. On top of. Can I do that with the bowl? Well, if I put it here, is that on top of? No, that's inside, right? This is inside. So on top of, I could go like this. And now the orange is on top of the bowl. Okay, on top of. Remember, on top of is like on. Okay, on top of. Very good. All right, let's take a look at a few different things. I have the jar here. What can you say about this jar and the sage? Where is the sage? You need some ideas? Okay. Is the sage on top of the jar? Under the jar? In front of the jar? Next to the jar? Inside the jar? Between the jar? Or behind the jar? Where is the sage? The sage is inside the jar. Inside. Good job. Prepositions are words that are usually very common words that can link together other words in the sentence, and they show when or where or how. They show time or location, or they introduce an object. I hope after watching this, you are more familiar with prepositions of place, like we practiced today, behind, between, inside, next to, in front of, under, on top of. I also hope that you learned some new prepositions from this book, like prepositions of time. For example, at 9:30 or during recess, after school. Those are all prepositions of time. They tell when. And also other prepositions that introduce an object. It could be introducing a noun phrase, or introducing a pronoun. So thank you again for watching this. I hope that you learned a lot and that you will watch it again to be able to practice and say all of the words. So really try to say them, because that will help you get them into your vocabulary so that you can use them more and more in your sentences to give more information in your sentences. All right, thank you. Goodbye.